Hi and welcome to the podcast tonight. We're going to be talking Milsims. Yes, a no different thing for the channel. We've got a couple of guys on I'm going to introduce in a moment. But as usual, we have got Ben from North Cinematics. We have got Stealth Slicer. And today we're going to be talking about... Oh shit, I'm just telling everyone to... turn the audio off and I've left mine on. I can hear myself back. But anyway, we've got Ben from North Cinematics. We have Stealth Slicer on the panel tonight. And we've got Green Keen Chief, I think it's called. And we've got LD. And we're going to be talking about the issues that they're having with Verdun and Tannenberg. We have played it. I know Ben's played it. But we're going to be talking about one or two issues that they've been having, and then we're going to talk about the Milsim community and letting these guys promote what they do. But first of all, Ben, Stealth, welcome again tonight to the panel.
Hello. There you go. Good to be back. Good to see you again, chat.
Yay, all as enthusiastic. So anyway, gentlemen, I'm going to go straight to you, Green and LD. So I don't know who wants to go first. I'm going to give you two boys the stage. So what is the issue that we're actually having with Verdun and Tannenberg at this moment?
Right. So right now, this is Green Keef Chief that's speaking at the moment, by the way, everyone. So right now, I'd say there's multiple issues with Verdun and Tannenberg, mainly with Verdun at the moment, that is basically making the player base die off, I think, and is affecting the Milsim group that we have started for Verdun, and / the community itself is just dying off, I think, based on these issues I'm about to give, which has been, making me pretty angry for the past year, because that's how long that these issues I'm about to mention has been occurring now.
Because you're quite passionate about the game, aren't you, Green?
I love Verdun. I love Tannenberg. I love the realistic World War I first-person shooter setting. I think that they're great games, but they are literally broken in a lot of ways right now, So let me get into some of those issues.
Sure.
The first one that was very noticeable to me was, or let me begin with just the fact that these issues arose after this update that they had put out for the game called the Western Front Update.
Okay.
That pretty much changed the layout of the game just ever so slightly to make things smoother, and they improved the sound, and it's pretty much it that I can think of that was really improved upon. But other than, maybe the lighting was maybe a little bit, it's a little better now since that update. But other than those three things, there's a barrage of bad things that have occurred, which
I'm sure you're going to tell us about.
Right. So the first one is there's no more blood on the ground. And that's a big one to me, because that really helped me get immersed into the setting of the really nitty gritty World War I setting that it's supposed to be.
Sure.
There used to be blood all over the ground. The bodies used to stay there for quite some time, and now they seem to disappear pretty fast compared to what they used to disappear. And you'd expect with them taking the blood out of the game that there would be less issues, because it takes probably a little more for the game to generate that blood on the ground and let it stay there for a little bit. But it's only it's just weird, because why would they take it out if there's more issues now with it out, is the question. So I didn't really like how they did that. And then to add on to that, there is blue screen errors that happen pretty much every 3 to 4 matches that you try to get into.
So quite common then.
Quite oftenly it happens, and it's to everybody, everyone that I've talked to, and everyone that I play with. It happens to all of us around the same time. Like when we all jump into the game together, we'll be playing the game, and after like 2 matches, 3 matches or something, one of us will get the blue screen error, and then the other two are like, uh-oh.
Sure.
And then it happens to them pretty soon after that.
So can it happen to one person and then not the other, and then you're getting a new game, it'll happen to someone else, and then you have to come out of the game?
Right. It basically, when a blue screen error happens, it just takes you completely out of the game, and you have to reload everything again.
So what I'm saying is, it's not it doesn't happen to everyone. It could just happen to one person, and then you'll have to come out because you're playing together. Or does it happen to everyone?
It happens to everyone eventually.
Right. Okay. Okay.
It happens around the same time to everyone.
Right.
It won't happen exactly at the same time for everyone.
Sure.
They all jump in at the same time, but it will happen pretty soon after that first person experiences it, usually. And then there's another issue, which is very similar to the blue screen error one, but this one's more like I don't know, they're both technical issues, but this one's more of like an in-game thing. When you're aiming down the sight of a gun in Verdun, and I have not really experienced this in Tannenberg yet, but this is mainly for Verdun. The blue screen error thing is a Tannenberg thing, though, along with the blood on the ground issue. That's Tannenberg as well. But so this one I'm about to mention is only Verdun, where you're aiming down the sight of your weapon, and out of nowhere, just randomly, it can happen every 2 matches, every 3 matches, around the same time as like a blue screen error type thing would happen. The whole screen, except for the HUD, which the HUD, if anyone that doesn't know what HUD means that's watching this, which I'd be very surprised if they don't, but if they don't, HUD is just like showing where like your mini map is, the score of the 2 teams, and like maybe your amount, the amount of ammo that your guy has on him as well. That's the HUD, but that's the only thing that'll become visible, and everything else will go completely pitch black. The entire image will just go pitch black, and the only way to fix it is to reload the application. And it's just ridiculous. I mean, this has been an issue for a whole year now, and those are the major issues. There's some smaller issues as well that I'll mention, but I just want.
But them sort of things would make me stop playing the game. I don't understand. I don't know if LD wants to come in and maybe elaborate on 1 or 2 issues maybe he's seen.
I mean, I don't really experience like too many things like glitches. The real problem I've just had with Verdun is the whole like, community and things like that.
Sure. So you think there's a lack of sort of commitment to the community, do you think? Can
I just put it?
Go on, Ben. Go on. Yeah.
Because just what I think it was LD who was saying about how he tried to actually contact one of the developers, and you tried to contact them on Twitter and email and didn't get back to you. Whereas, like I reached out to them on Twitter and email, and they got back to me straight away. So it's just like this is the thing that really frustrates me, is when they're kind of ignoring their actual community and they're just responding to people who make videos on the game. So.
But do you not think though, Ben, is because you have got a community, you've got a player base, and maybe it's LD, no disrespect, LD, we'll try and sort this out by the end of the stream. We'll try and get you some more subscribers. But do you not think that maybe the people who are developing Verdun are thinking, no cinematics, he's a name, he's got 5,000 subs, etc. We will respond to him, but we might not respond to LD because, what can we get out of him? Which I don't think's right, because he's paid for the game. Do you know what I mean?
I don't disagree with that at all.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that, but also it's one of those things that you want to see because they've got community managers. You want to see the community managers interacting with
talk to me about
with the average person who buys the game. You want them to, if someone who's brought your game, someone who's investing time in your game, is asking a question, going, I want to know why are we having issues with the game? We need this sorting out. And if they're just ignoring their community, in my opinion, that's not good. And it's not like Tannenberg and Verdun are a massive game.
Exactly.
This sort of game is pulling in a couple hundred players on PC. I know my brother plays Tannenberg and Verdun as well, and I know they're not pulling in great numbers on console. So it's not like.
But therefore, Ben, I sort of enhance my argument then that they should be taking on board people like Green, people like LD, who are trying to build a community of Milsim lads, because that is more towards a Milsim than should we say Sandstorm or Battlefield. And we'll go there, LD. Don't worry, I know what you do with Battlefield. But you'd think that they would sort of take them under their wing and say, look, let's nurture this boy. boy. Let's get him on board. Let's try and get him a community, because these guys are trying to help us. And I take offense sometimes, no disrespect to you, Ben, take offense because they get straight back to you because they've looked at your channel, they've seen X amount of thousands of subscribers, and they'll think, oh, well, we've got to reply to him, and we're not going to reply to LD because he's got X amount of subscribers. I think they should be nurturing people like LD and Green.
Yeah. Well, that's how you keep the games alive, isn't it?
Yeah,
God,
I mean, I definitely agree. I can see the arguments of both points, but the way I look at it is, yeah, there's only so many hours in the working day, and they do have to pick and choose what they'll reply to. But you make the argument of North has 5-6K subs and Joe Public on the street has 0 subs. But at the end of the day, Joe Public is your player base. By reaching out
exactly,
to Joe Public, you are reaching out to the however many thousands of people who are either players of your game or are potential players of your game, because we've seen it before. If you ignore your community, NWI looking at you, you'll get a bad name. If you interact with your
You're getting worse than me.
No, I'm not. No one's worse than you. Even if you're just little bits here and there, the goodwill it generates in the community is immense.
Yeah, exactly. And you will go on and then purchase further products from those people. So LD, carry on. So what else, what frustrates you about Verdun and Tannenberg, or the developers themselves?
I just think it's kind of like, the lack of ideas that they actually have, because especially on, like, with custom matches, because Milsim kind of relies around custom matches, because like, especially on Battlefield, because you can modify your own things, you can do whatever you want with it. Yeah. But with Tannenberg and Verdun, there is literally there is no customizations to your servers at all.
So they're just like vanilla servers. You take what you're given.
Yeah.
Shit. So go on.
I was just going to say, it's custom in the sense of you are running a server.
That's about it.
With like Battlefield, you can change like the damage output. You can change the time limits and things. And Milsim takes a while. And on Verdun and Tannenberg, it gives you about half an hour per game. You can change it on Battlefield to make it 200 minutes per game, and it takes about 10 minutes to actually get like everyone in the games and stuff, and that leaves you about 10 minutes to actually get the events going, if you know what I mean, the actual Milsim events.
Yeah.
Right, okay, yeah, to get everything organised.
Yeah. I've definitely got to back you up on that one, because while I have very limited experience with Milsim myself, I've definitely watched Milsim. I've interacted with a good few friends who are interested in Milsim, and so when they run a big operation, it can take hours to play out an operation.
Yeah, I remember I did one the other day in Battlefield. It took about 45 minutes, an hour, something like that.
Shit. So can I just go to Green? But first of all, I just want to say to chat, we will get to you. We're just talking at the moment. We will actually get to the chat. But Green, what do you think that the developers of Verdun and Tannenberg could do to sort of make the community more happy? Do you think they should communicate more? Do you think they should be more in the game? Do you think they should give you more options within the game? What do you think they should do? If you could tell them now, because we will promote this video. We'll get more people viewing it after the video actually is out there a couple of days. I'm going to promote it to Tannenberg and Verdun developers. What do you think they should do?
Well, I think that to start, they should definitely fix all of the issues that I've mentioned so far, at least. I haven't even mentioned all of them yet, but the main issues that I've mentioned are definitely the biggest ones they need to focus on, because those issues are literally losing the player base completely on console, and it's affecting the Milsim.
Because it's not massive at the moment anyway, is it?
Right, exactly. It's never been like that massive, I guess you could say. But it was definitely doing, I think, a little better before all these issues arose and stuff, and
sure,
it's just crazy to me that I had commented a couple comments on their YouTube channel on their latest video, which was 4 months old now, which is ridiculous, and the fact that they haven't even put out any videos about the condition of their game on console is kind of just showing that they really aren't paying attention because they choose not to. They really don't care about the console community, and I think that's very irresponsible and unprofessional of them. And I think that they could do a lot of things with this game to make the player base grow than just, putting out cross-platform and game chat. I mean, the game chat I think was a little bit better. I think they should have added that way in the past, way before any of this.
But you think it's got better
in terms of in terms of them adding the game chat, that's a good idea. But
sure.
The cross-platform, they just did that for marketing. They just wanted more people to buy the game. They don't really care about the condition that the game itself is in. They just want the people to buy it so that they can get their money, is what it really seems. Because
I agree with that.
I give them really, detailed comments and stuff on their YouTube channel, and I get replies from random people here and there, but they're not, they're not.
You just don't think they're addressing the issues that the community is talking about.
Right, like
and they're trying to get a quick buck, aren't they? Because I've seen on their Twitter, all they do is they keep putting the game on sale, going, "Oh, we're selling it at X amount of price. Come buy the game." But like Green says, they're not actually fixing the game. They're just trying to basically sell as many copies as they can before.
All marketing.
Yeah, it's all marketed, and that's not good enough. It's something.
No. Well, obviously, it doesn't sound like it.
Yeah, 100%.
But there's obviously there's people dedicated to that, or could be dedicated, and I'm sort of getting the feeling that people possibly are walking away because of the lack of communication from the developers, and I've seen it over and over again. It's something that my channel sort of deals with, but if that happens, you're going to find that they'll never buy your next game. They maybe give you a chance. They'll give you 2 chances.
Can I just put in, though?
Go on, mate. Yeah.
I was just going to say, because I know you're saying about the communication, but I think the only good thing about these developers, which I do want to give a bit of praise to, because in all fairness, we see so many times with these PC games being promised and then never actually come. So in all fairness, these developers promised
they actually got it out there,
and they got it out. And I think that needs to be said, because I think there's so many developers, we see it so many times where they get promised and they never come out. So at least they've got it out. But from what I'm hearing anyway, it seems, they've brought the game out, but they've kind of just gone, okay, we've got it out.
That's it.
Let's just, that's it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so I'm gonna have sorry guys, butting in again. I'm gonna address the chat. I just want to say hello to Howard Hopkins. Sorry, Howard. This one wasn't an open podcast. It was with the 2 guys that we've got on tonight. That we were talking about Milsim. It was pre-organized. But Howard, next week we're going to do the drunk stream. Come on for that one, and then we're going to probably do an open podcast the week after. Definitely come on that one. Cheeky Waffle had to reset the stream to get it working. We had problems when we first started, so don't worry about it, mate. Hopefully you're still here. Emerald98, really nice to see you again, mate. What do people think Skizzly's at?
Oh, Skizzle Axe, he's a YouTuber.
Oh, right, okay. He waffles
covers,
on too
Call of
much
Duty.
just to get to the point.
Yeah.
So what's this guy like? Can anyone answer that question?
Well, I watch him, but I mean, he's okay.
Does he waffle on?
A little bit, yeah. I can see what he means. I don't watch him that often, but yeah, he does waffle on a little bit.
So, Hound Zero, good evening to you, mate. Thanks very much for coming along to the stream. Emerald 90, apparently they're working on a new game, supposedly. Do you boys, Green LD, do you know anything about that?
I had heard rumors about a World War II game that they were potentially working on, but I didn't know how to do that.
Yeah, Keith mentioned that to me the other day.
Shit.
Awesome.
Kyle Paddock, welcome, mate. Thank you. You got to one of the streams. Not exactly gameplay what you're used to with Simon, but yeah, Kyle, thanks for coming along, mate. We're talking about Milsims tonight. We've got a couple of boys on. I'm going to let them promote shortly what they actually do. Cheeky Waffles on again. Yeah, he's always here every Friday. Really appreciate it.
Yeah,
the lads appreciate it. And if you could help the guys out, I'm going to get them to have a little talk about what they actually do within the Milsim community. I know these Battlefield players that come to my channel, Ben's channel, Stell's channel. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with LD. I'm going to ask him to tell us a little bit about himself. He's going to promote his site. He's going to let you know exactly what he's all about. So he's green straight after LD. And if you could possibly, it won't take you 2 minutes, boys. If you could probably please subscribe to these channels and show them a bit of support. It doesn't take 2 minutes. So anyway, LD, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about your community, your Milsim community. Tell us about your YouTube channel. Let people know where it is, how they can find you, and off you go.
Well, hello. I'm
Yeah,
LD,
go.
of course. My channel is just LD and then .milsim. But I've kind of taken a bit of a break right now off YouTube just because, like, you know, life. It's been pretty hard at the moment going like with school and stuff. So I just took a little break. But let me just get into Milsim. If you're not sure what Milsim is, sorry, it's just military simulation. We try kind of like recreate a military environment and try to respect the people who actually fought in World War II, especially with Battlefield 5. We kind of respect World War 1 as well with Milsim and Verdun. But I'll just get into like the basic things of Milsim. When you join it, you'll probably experience a disciplined environment just because, of course, it is a military environment. And I can also say it's going to be a lot of fun as well. You'll do things called operations, where it's basically like you're going to a realistic battle against like another Milsim, if you know what I mean. I don't actually run the Battlefield Milsim community. It's someone called Gabe Willis. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of him.
No, personally, no, I've not. No, personally, no.
He runs the Starzar channel that I told you about.
Oh, right. Okay. I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, he runs that. Yeah, he's a pretty sound guy. I recommend going over to watch his channel if you want a bit more about Battlefield Milsim.
Sure.
Because, you know, I'll kind of have like a mix between Verdun and Battlefield. But I recently did actually change the name of my YouTube channel. It was just Rogue Panzer before, just because I decided to name it that. But now I've just changed it to LD Milsim because I kind of want to just focus.
And that's where they can find you, LD. That's where they can communicate with you.
Yeah, and I decided, you know, I'm just going to focus my YouTube channel on mainly Milsim because that's something that I really like to do. Sure. And with a lot of YouTubers, I think they'll find it takes them a while to figure out what they actually want to do, if you know what I mean, with their channel.
Do you, say for argument's sake, say some of the boys in the chat, because we have a lot of sort of tactical players, but maybe it's not Milsim. Are you as a group willing to take these guys from newbies to let them know the situation, how everything works? Will you sort of guide them through Milsim? Will you do that if they joined? Look, because sometimes, you know, people join these, they want to get into these sort of activities, like, you know, they may be a first-person shooter, want to get into Milsim. They go into Milsim groups and they just take the piss out of them. Your group will not do that.
Yeah, we don't really accept people like that because, of course, we want to pay respect because it's not sure. Just all a big mess around. So we do take stuff seriously.
Sure.
But if you want to ask any questions, I would recommend asking me or maybe Green Chief because Gabe or Sar, he's got like quite a lot going on, if you know what I mean, like try to run the whole community. So, and he's always pretty busy. So if you do want to ask any questions, I just recommend asking me or Green Chief. Sure. Because I'll reply. I don't care who it is. I'll reply like within 5 minutes.
So I don't know if you can answer this, Starzar. Starzar on the chat said, have you done Milsim before? The boys have, obviously. If so, I'd highly recommend War of Rights. Does that mean anything to you, boys?
Oh, yeah.
I love War of Rights. Yeah. That's great. I love that. Yeah, it's a Civil War game.
It takes
so it is. So it is.
It takes place in the state that I live in, which is Maryland.
Wow.
Cool. That's why I would, dude, oh my God. If I was to get a PC, it would be just for that game alone to start off. Just to start off, mate.
So, Green Chief, I was going to come over to you, LDs. Let us know that people can contact him and yourself about Milsim. So, let us know about your channel. Let us know about your involvement with LD and basically about your involvement in Milsim itself. Don't forget to promote your channel.
All right. Well, basically, LD is the one that got me started with Milsim to begin with. I knew what Milsim was based off watching on YouTube, different YouTube channels and stuff. Because Milsim is a lot bigger on PC right now. It's almost unheard of on console, for the most part. But it's definitely growing a lot more, especially on the Battlefield 5 Milsim side. Right now, like Verdun Milsim definitely needs help for sure. Like we could definitely use as many people as possible, regardless if it's our Milsim group or someone else's Milsim group. Just we need to build the community bigger for this.
It needs activity.
The game, like I do not want the game to die. I just want it to be fixed so that people will stay and keep playing. So that's kind of like why I'm doing Milsim. I'm doing Milsim for the stance that I want Milsim to just become a more normal thing to see on console as a whole, and just get more Milsim styled games on console. Because
Emerald, we'll talk about that in the end. Sorry, I didn't mean to put in then, Green. Just looking at the chat. Yeah, we'll talk about that in the end because Stealth's really interested in that. Sorry, Green, I didn't mean to put in then.
Yeah, that's okay. But so, where was I? Let me think. Where was I just now?
Bringing Milsim more to consoles.
Yeah.
Oh, right. So, I would love to see more Milsim-styled games on console because it's very possible. It's just it comes down to whether the developing teams are going to do it or not. And, they can't use the excuse, on console, with the controller, you don't get as many buttons to press that you need to press for certain commands on some of these games. But that's just not the case anymore because the fact that anyone on console can get a keyboard and mouse at this point.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's completely compatible now, depending on which one you get. Probably, I haven't really looked into it because I don't have one myself yet. But if they do start to release more Milsim style games, I'm definitely going to get that so that I can play them. Anyone will see that they're releasing these games more oftenly. They would probably do that. So it's really
so what consoles do you boys actually play on? Is it the Xbox or is it the PlayStations?
PlayStation.
PS4, yeah.
Okay. I was just curious actually when you said that, which actual console you play on.
Right.
So let's sort of wind this up. So we know exactly about you boys, and we obviously we've seen problems with Verdun and Tannenberg. Can you just to sort of finish things off, your sort of views on how big this community is and how big you think the community could be? I'll go to you, LD.
I mean, the Verdun one, I remember when we used to have about 30 odd people in there, which is, I'd say, it's pretty good.
Shit.
Yeah. The player base of Verdun isn't very high. But now that Verdun's kind of going through a pretty bad stage right now, we've only got, I'm just looking now, we've got 16 people in.
Shit.
I think it was about the 30 odd people that we had, and that's just how you can see the big difference there.
The drop, yeah.
Verdun actually used to be a playable game to now, when it's just full of bugs and glitches.
And so actually concentrate your Milsim on Battlefield 5. It's not a game I particularly liked, to be honest, but I've watched videos. I've actually watched them, and people out there should watch LD's and Green's videos. They're actually really, really entertaining. Really, really enjoyed them. And I'm not sure how you did it, but it makes it look like a completely different game. And that's why I think you people out there who are watching now live, or you're watching in the future when you watch this video, please subscribe to these boys' channel. Go back if you're just joining us now. They've told you exactly where they can find you, but watch the Battlefield 5 ones. So how do you sort of approach that, LD, doing a Battlefield 5 one? Because in effect, it's not a Milsim game. How do you go about organising that?
Well, to organise, we have basically like a Discord, if you know, like a Discord server, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And we can just organise everything through there, because like all the unit leaders. Like I'm a unit leader myself. I recently just made one. I know you may be surprised by this, but it's a Finnish unit,
Sure.
which is not in the game. There's no Finnish people in the game,
Yeah.
but there is actually a lot of stuff that you can do in Battlefield that kind of like I don't really know how to describe it. You can kind of like make certain factions come to life in the game, if you know what I mean.
Sure.
Like I know there's quite a few like German SS units, there's British units, there's like, of course I run a Finnish unit. I think I actually have the list right here of all of them. There's about 20 odd units that you can join.
Wow.
It's a big community. Yeah, the Battlefield
Yeah.
5 one is massive compared to the Verdun
Yeah, it's over 100 people.
So it did. So in the end, it did a good thing. Stealth, yeah, go.
Yeah, I just want to sort of jump in something there. LD, you actually spoke about SS units and such, but
Yeah.
I just want to jump in there, and I want to just say to people who perhaps are a little less familiar with the Milsim community, because I've had a bit of exposure myself. I'm also very much into military history. Just because there's SS units does not mean that the people in those units are Nazis.
Yeah,
It's all
and
about
that's something that
yes.
we warn people, especially when they're coming to lead a unit, just to say we make SS units, but we don't support Nazis.
Yeah.
Things like anything like that. We don't support anything like that. It's just for reenactment purposes.
Yeah. And that's a very important thing, I feel like, just to highlight to the chat. It's nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
It's all about historical accuracy and remembering that no matter how bad things are in history, there are always two sides.
Yeah, Stealth, that's people who don't understand history. Well, don't understand these sort of things. Like you see articles from people like Kotaku or something like oh, Nazis playing Battlefield 5 or something. It's like, no,
Kotaku.
just enjoy the history. Like
That's like the Sun newspaper,
Yeah.
Kotaku.
Yeah, it's just
That's
roleplay. It's just
exactly
roleplay.
why I wanted to mention it, because
I know.
it's very easy to get.
Good point you
tripped
raised.
up.
Cheers, Kyle Paddock. I think you boys might have got a sub off Kyle there. I don't know. Oh, thank you, Kyle. I've just got a tip. Thanks, Kyle. Appreciate it.
First on stream.
yeah.
Well done, Kyle.
Yeah.
Oh,
Appreciate that.
donation.
Yeah, but I think cheers, Kyle. I think the boys might have got a sub off Kyle. He's actually a really decent guy, to be
I like
honest.
Kyle. Yeah, I see him on Simon's chat.
Yeah, he's on Simon's a lot. He's a really
Don't
decent
you go
guy.
spending that £2 quickly.
I know. You know what? I'll probably give it to a children's charity or something like that. I always do. I'm not. Do you know what? I appreciate it, but you know what? That'll go to the fund. That'll go to the giveaway fund. So, in effect, well, it's on the top there. It's a giveaway fund.
Let's
do you know what?
I'll back though.
Yeah.
Yeah, as we say, it's all about historical accuracy, historical reenactment, and as LD has said countless times, paying respect to history and to the people of history. You might not necessarily have agreed with those people or their philosophies, but they still existed, they still fought, and a lot of them are still worthy.
Exactly.
If no one calls me on the internet, I'm talking generally about history here. Most of those people are worthy as respect as soldiers. They might not have done good, they might not have done right, but they still fought.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think a lot of the time they had choice. They were. I know a lot of people. It's going to be controversial, but bottom line is they were just following orders, regardless what faction, what side you were on. No one's going to mention anything. And what LD's saying, that they respect the history of these conflicts, and they like to reenact stuff like that, and sort of make something like Battlefield as real as it can possibly be.
And I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. If that's something, like I play these sort of Milsim games, so I know totally what he's talking about. I'll play as like a terrorist organization on like squad or something. It's not because I agree with terrorism. It's just because that's the game. I want it to be looking and feeling like I'm playing in that game. So people who play these sort of games totally understand that, but obviously on the outside, but they don't quite get it. But
that's the thing as well. you don't join these to screw about and go, look at me goose stepping or
Yeah,
any of that
exactly.
crap. It's
I mean, you do get that,
Yeah,
but what the guys are
of
saying
course,
is that's not us. We're
That's
a
not the point.
serious sort of group, organisation, etc., etc. We like doing this. They encourage people to get into this game. They used to play a game called Verdun and another one called Tannenberg. They're disappointed with it. They now concentrate on Battlefield 5, doing the Milsim stuff. They have a lot of fun. Please go and subscribe to their channel. It doesn't take 2 minutes just to give them a bit of support. They've took time out in their schedule tonight to come on the podcast. And so what I'm going to do is maybe, if it's all right with you guys, going to let Stealth and Ben maybe say one or two things, and Green, because he's not talked for a while. We're now going to the point where we're going to talk about anything we want to talk about. Is that all right with you, chaps?
Yeah.
I've got nothing to say.
And you can carry on talking about Milsim, whatever you want to talk about. So, Stealth, is there anything you would like to talk about tonight?
I feel that's a very leading question, but I'm going to have to go back to what Emerald said, what Trash Panda's been saying in server, and I'm sure what other people have been thinking about discussing since my post yesterday.
Yeah.
God damn, 6 days in Fallujah is back.
Yeah.
I remember.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up actually, because that's what I was going to talk about.
Oh, right. Can I just stop you there, because Kyle wants to know, guys, can you give him the names of your channel? Go with LD first.
Yeah, they go first.
Mine just LD, both capital letters, dot, capital M, Milsim.
Cool. And Green,
LD
what's your
dot
channel?
Milsim.
Because
Right,
I think Kyle's gonna.
I was gonna say, after you haven't even mentioned my channel yet, or like what I usually put on it, because when you had asked me to, I just
do that now.
Yeah, so my bad. All right, so my channel's name is the same as this. It's Green Keef Chief, and there's no spaces in between any of those words, and the only capital letter is the G at the very beginning. But,
Right. Okay. So are you actually watching the stream at the moment, Green?
I'm not actually right now.
Okay, so get phonetically. Oh, he's got it. Stealth's put it in. Stealth's put it in for you. Kyle's a really, really decent bloke. It might only be one sub, but at least we've got your sub tonight. But again, Green, just before we go, tell us a little bit about your channel.
All right, so basically, it's mainly Milsim videos based channel, but I do put a bunch of different things on it, and it's very new still. I only really started putting videos up on it daily, or at least every other day, probably about a month ago now. But it's a lot of it's going to show you what our Battlefield 5 Milsim group does. A lot of it's very raw, mostly uncut for the most part.
And I can vouch for it. I've watched. It's decent.
Thank you. I really appreciate that, honestly, because I could really use any honest input that I could on it. I don't want people to be dishonest with me. If they don't like what I'm posting, then I want them to let me know. But one person did, but he kind of trolled me about it. He said disliked, boring video, but it's just someone from our group that was salty that I probably did better than he did or something in this one operation.
Probably.
But and what do you call it? He got some other people to dislike the video with him, but I'm not pressed about it because they haven't done it like all my videos.
Take it with a pinch of salt. I get hate all the time, mate. I get shitloads of hate. Welcome to my world. Oh, mate, I get so much hate. I was just going to say, Kyle, mate, I know you've stopped doing videos, but you should actually come on a podcast with us one night. It'd be decent. You should do that, mate. So don't sort of give up on YouTube. I know you were considering giving up on YouTube, and maybe it's a break you need. Consider having a podcast with us. The next podcast is going to be in a couple of weeks' time. We're having a drunk stream next week, or if the lads are available, probably have a drunk stream next week. But Kyle, come along. We'll get you on the podcast, and we can talk about bollocks, to be honest, at the end of the day. But Kyle, see you, mate. I just saw your message there. Now, thanks a lot for coming along to the stream. So anyone, anyway, anyone?
You know that when you were mentioning Kyle, I thought you were talking about me at first because I was like,
Oh, no, sorry, Kyle Paddock. No, so it's a guy in the chat. I forgot your name was Kyle. We were keeping to internet names, Kyle.
Oh yeah.
that's all right. I'm not that scared. I mean, my face is already, my profile picture on YouTube
Well,
and also on this, so
Shit.
I'm not too scared of letting people know my first name or
No, that's
in
cool.
general, but yeah. Right now, we'll keep it as Kyle and Greenkeep Chief is who I am.
Well, I'm just going to go to Paddock because I don't want to say Kyle again. But Kyle Paddock, what I'll do is I'll hit you up on Twitter, mate, and we'll organise you to come on. We'll get a topic going, or we'll get something going. Maybe it's about skill-based matchmaking, which actually has not been that bad. I played it the other day and it never even hit me at all. But anyway, that's another thing. So, Stealth, you were saying?
Yeah, 6 days is a thing again after,
excited.
my God,
Hyped.
a long time.
Hyped.
I mean, this thing was due for 2010. It was cancelled 2009. It was then laid back till 2016. But then the company that was working on it went bankrupt in 2011, so it was just absolutely canned. And then out of nowhere, yesterday, 6 days in Fallujah 2021.
Shit.
I'm
I'm so hyped.
I was wondering what that is exactly. I saw like a headline for it in something. I can't remember what it was exactly.
Imagine that for Milsim.
What 6 days in Fallujah is, or originally was a attempt to do a very serious game regarding I believe it was the second Battle of Fallujah that they are focusing on during the 2004-2005 invasion of Iraq, period of invasion of Iraq.
Oh wow!
It's essentially following the it's not focusing on something like Call of Duty or something like that, where it just tells you a story within the environment. It's
really tactical, isn't it?
It is
first person as well, not third person.
Yeah, exactly.
It is trying to focus less on the grand story and what's actually going on, and more from the get-go. The devs have always said that they want to do a game about the story and the actual experiences of the people who were there, specifically US Marines, 3rd Battalion, 1st Marines.
Oh wow! So it's really gonna give like a real life experience through the eyes of
pretty much.
Yeah, that's what they want to push for. And reading up on what was released yesterday, just to put this out there for people, apparently they have had either around 100 or in excess of 100 people who did serve there,
personnel,
acting as advisors to the game.
Sure.
So this is another reason why I'm really interested in this game.
But the game got so much hate, didn't it? When they first sort of announced it, they got so much hate.
It wasn't necessarily hate; it was controversy.
Yeah, controversy.
Wrong time.
Well, this is the thing.
Too soon.
Time? Was it the wrong time? Was it too soon? Was it not?
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
same as me, Emerald. I like urban combat.
Same.
So at the end of the day, Fallujah. Honestly, if you are not familiar with the Battle of Fallujah, first and second, not to mention what's happened in Fallujah before, it's very harrowing.
Oh,
it is.
Can you answer Emerald's question, Stealth, just regarding will there be multiplayer?
I haven't seen anything saying yes or no.
I think they're quite vague at the moment, aren't they? What they're doing?
I don't know whether it has multiplayer or not.
Because I think it'll have to.
This is the first time we are hearing about it in 10 years.
Yeah.
So
it's just come out of the blue, this.
Yeah, completely out of the blue. I was not expecting to see.
No.
I was not expecting to see 6 days ever.
I was like, what? What is
I know.
Going on? Am I like looking at this right? Like 6 days?
Yeah.
I seriously got a semi on when Stealth said it.
Jesus Christ. But yeah,
I did.
Why I'm interested so much in 6 days.
Whack one off.
Because it's not trying to be a Battlefield War story. It's not trying to be a COD or anything like that. It is purely putting the politics and the pomp of storytelling and fiction aside and just going, these are the experiences of real people told in a video game medium. And another reason why I like it, it's using video gaming as a storytelling medium now.
Sure.
and that's what I really like about this game.
And that's what a lot of games lack, to be honest,
Yes,
nowadays. So Ben, anyway, have you got anything, any news, anything you want to say? Is there anything on your mind?
Well, I mean, the thing that I was going to bring up, but still
Okay.
brought it up, was 6 Days of Fallujah, and that's what
Sure.
I wanted to talk about. But I'm actually really excited for this game, and something we didn't actually point out, I don't think, unless I wasn't listening, was this game's coming to console and PC as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be a pretty big deal. I mean, I'm definitely going to be looking out for this one. I actually can't wait for it.
It's on the radar.
And, yeah, I just want to see more of it though, because I just think whatever we saw, it was so small and didn't really give much away. I mean, the graphics looked okay. It looked pretty decent, but I want to know more about that multiplayer. If this game has multiplayer, then that's going to make me very excited. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't
Definitely.
wait for it.
So LD, oh sorry, Stealth.
I was just going to say, I was going to do the same thing. I think, Devin. I was going to sidestep to Green and LD, and I was going to say, what are your thoughts as Milsim guys on a game like 6 Days, where they are trying to retell the experiences of real world personnel who were really there and really fought?
I'm going to be honest, I don't think I've heard of this game.
Wow, you need to get hyped about it, LD.
I'm very excited already just hearing about it all. Like, I wish that there's more games like this. Honestly, it sounds kind of like how Brothers in Arms was very realistic in how it was drawn out. It seems like it might be kind of like that, maybe, to my mind. Like how
I think you're right on that. Yeah, it could be similar to that. Yeah.
Which Brothers in Arms, if we get a game like that again, I would bow down to these development teams, because Brothers in Arms is like one of the best
Hell's Highway
games. Yeah, especially that one. One of my favorite games of all time, probably.
Yeah, it's good.
So LD, anything about this game that you're hyped about? Is it there? Have we got in? LD?
He was on and off.
So, what were you saying? I'm sorry.
I'm saying, would you be hyped as a Milsim guy about a game, something like this, what we've sort of been talking about in the last 10 minutes or so?
I mean, if there's one key thing what you need to do in games with Milsim, it's large scale combat, and if it has that, then it could just tick all the right boxes everywhere else.
And being modern as well. Would you? I know you like World War II. Would you be interested in a modern game?
Yeah, no, that's what I want Battlefield 6 to be.
Iraq, oh God, don't.
Countries like that.
Yeah.
I think me and Mr. Devlin were speaking about that the other day, how we wanted it to be like Iraq and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like large scale as well. I'd just make it 20 times better.
Sure. I think I'd get excited about if Battlefield 6, and there was a little rumour, I don't think it's true, but they were talking, or there was talk of South America. I'd love to see that. I've said it before to the boys. Imagine Brazil. Imagine in the rainforest.
Is that for the next Insurgency game?
No. Well, Insurgency, but they were actually Insurgency, yes, but there was talk about Battlefield. We're looking at that as well. Yeah. I got that as a nod as well, but obviously I didn't make a video of it because I wasn't totally sure about it. I only make videos of things I'm totally sure of. and then I went into my YouTube voice. Fucking hell.
I'd like to add on to like something for Battlefield 5, by the way, in terms of Battlefield 5, in terms of the Milsim support.
Go on.
All right, so basically, like, other than the fact that it's helping get like a more serious player base on Battlefield 5 again in general, so that people can actually have fun on it. It also is allowing people to like do cinematic-esque videos a lot more. And I actually have worked with someone already with doing voice acting for him and stuff, who's a YouTuber that's pretty well known, at least I think, because he's got like 20K subscribers.
Apparently, gentlemen, Cluffy says hello.
Oh,
Cluffy.
Oh,
yeah, shout out to that man. British Army.
Hey, how you doing, Cluffy? It's Andrew Clough. How you doing? Thanks for coming along to the stream. Your boys on the podcast tonight. Emerald 90, there's a game called 06, which is actually out at the moment.
06 Hour?
No, but there's 060 Hour as well.
06 Hour, isn't there?
Yeah, but there's 06. There's a game called 06, and there's a game called 06. Yeah. There's, the one's out, one's not out yet. I was playing the alpha or whatever the fuck it is. But yeah, there's a lot of games that could be really interesting. We could be interested in or excited about. But right, guys, we've got about 10 minutes left, about 9-10 minutes left. Any of you boys, Green or LD, any bollocks you want to talk about tonight?
Can I quickly say something about Cluffy?
Sure.
You are never going to find a man more dedicated to Milsim than him. He's
Really?
on, a British Army training course right now. And
Shit.
He's brought his PlayStation with him, brought his games with him.
So he can play Milsim.
Yeah.
Day job,
Cluffy, that's
military.
dedicated.
What's your relaxation? Pretending to be military.
Yeah. But he's obviously not, because he's actually going to training.
Well, that's what I said.
Yeah.
His day job is the military.
All right, I do apologise.
To be in the
Apologise. Yeah,
military.
that's Devlin being a dickhead as usual.
Emerald 90 said 06 behind enemy lines. That's something that you've covered, isn't it?
Yeah. That's something I've covered. There's actually a game called just 06 as well. 06 behind enemy lines is something, and I'm not a third-person shooter guy, but I'm proper hyped about that game. Proper hyped. Seriously hyped about 06 behind enemy lines.
I need to know more, I think. But
I have been talking to the developers, but they're holding shit close to the chest. In all fairness, apparently it is coming to the console, but they're saying they are going to put it on PC. Basically, they're waiting to see how it's received on PC, and then they will probably bring it to the console. So they've not said, yes, it's coming out on console, and then it's just not coming out on console. Where the fuck have I heard that before? But anyway, it's a title that possibly, and something I'm hyped about, that could come to console. Yeah, very hyped about that game.
I haven't even seen any gameplay for it. If they have any, let me know.
No, there is none. There is none. There literally is none. They're keeping that really close to the chest. But a game I'm interested in, and it's on open beta. Ben, go for it. We're probably going to have a quick go on it later.
Yeah.
I can't even remember the name of the game.
9 to 5.
9 to 5. Yeah. I've been playing that game since Super Alpha. Before Alpha was invented, it was all just grey boxes, and it was clunky and it was horrible. It's now on open beta for anyone on the PC. It's a game called 9 to 5. And it is worth it. There's a lot of work, I think, still to be done. But it's coming out free. It's coming out free to play. What the fuck? What do you want?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm getting on it.
And the concept is it's 3 teams of 3. There's 3 either defend or attack, and then the other 6 come after them. And there's objectives. It's a bit Rainbow Six Siege-ish, but you know what? I'm hyped about it. It needs a lot of work, and I don't want you to be disappointed, Ben, when you play the game. But the scopes are shite. The gameplay's really good. The movement's really good. The gunplay's really good. The sound is a bit basic, and that's all I'll say. And I think Stealth should get on this as well. Scott Jordan.
Fuck, you beat me to it.
Jordan Scott.
Enlisted. Anyone heard of Enlisted?
Oh, Enlisted. I like Enlisted. It's all right, man. But it's there's a lot of bots on it. But yeah, it's all right. Enlisted, actually, it's decent. It's on the console and PC, I think.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Can I say I've been wanting information on this for ages, like months now. But does anyone know anything about Insurgency Sandstorm and console?
No. Mate, I'm your man.
No. How long have you got?
So like, I do this every single stream, honestly, LD. Look, I'm just waiting for the announcement that it's not coming to the console. And what they're going to say is that we've got this new game in development and we're going to bring these games out in conjunction with each other. We're going to bring the new game out on console and PC at the same time. I think they've actually took the fucking piss at the console community with Insurgency Sandstorm. They hate me. Mate, they fucking hate me.
Speaking of which, shout out to Devlin's NWI intern. Nice to see you.
Oh yeah. How you doing, son? You're probably watching this video at this moment in time. Father Hank, how you doing?
Father.
We don't want to see your sneakers, son. We don't want to see them. And anyone else from NWI who's watching the video,
NWI.
I'm absolutely disgusted in Father Hank liking a tweet that's taking the piss at the console community. You know, I stick up for the console community. Ben does as well. Obviously not as aggressive as I do. But to answer your question, LD, you know, if it comes out on console, I'll be very, very surprised, mate.
Yeah, I got to second that, to be honest.
It just looks such a good game as well.
It's awesome, mate. It's awesome. The game itself is awesome.
They've dropped the ball on it. I think
If
they
I
have.
could save up for a
so
PC, if I could save up for a PC, that'd be one of the first games I get.
It is awesome, the game,
But
and
even
that's where
that, though, I
people
think
get
it'd
us
be
boys
fun.
wrong.
It'd be fun on
Yeah.
console. It'd be fun to use the controller to actually.
I won't now, but I would have bought that on console.
Yeah.
That's the thing about Insurgency. Linking back to a point that the guys made a while ago, and consoles being a bit harder to port tactical games and Milsim games too. Insurgency falls in that beautiful sort of
Right in the middle.
There is very few extra mechanics that require a lot of clunky systems. It is purely just, here is your loadout, go.
Yeah.
It would port so well to console. But as Devlin said, it's probably not going to happen. I know a couple streams back, I went on record, date and time, saying exactly what is going to happen. In my mind, is that NWI will say, we're not going to bring this to a console because instead we're going to give you one better and we're going to put all our effort into our new game. But we're doing this for you guys.
Correct.
We want it to be good and it's going to be great. Yeah.
But I think people will buy that, though. I think people will end up forgiving them, and
Probably.
they'll end up
Do you know what? The console
Well,
players
it-
will buy the game because it is
It's
a
a good-
fucking brilliant game.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I think the next game will be good. Like, if it's anywhere near Sandstorm, I'm excited for it. But it's just a massive shame that
They need to clear the team out. I'm sorry, they need to clear them
Clear it
out. The
out,
fucking
clear it out.
what is it called? The chaff from the wheat
Chaff from the
or
wheat.
what?
Wheat from the
Chaff from the wheat. Johnny Higgins needs to go. Father Hank definitely needs to go. Mikey needs to stay. I like that
Mikey,
guy,
I like
and
Mikey.
I like Mikey.
I like
It
Mikey.
just seems really awkward. Please don't say, Mikey, that
wants
you're
the game to be
transparent when you're literally not transparent.
I think the issue with NWI Insurgency is that they have a good game, and what brings it down is just mismanagement. There's nothing wrong with the game. Yes, it has issues, but every game has issues.
I I'm going to finish off the stream. I'm going to go to Emerald because he's a supporter every Friday. What setting? I don't know if you guys are interested in COD, but what setting would you like the next COD to be? Ben?
just modern. I'll be happy with
Modern. Stealth?
Personally, I'd say either modern or give us another World at War style World War II game.
Sure. Green?
I'd say a fully Vietnam Call of Duty would be very, very
Wow. LD?
Good point.
I mean, I would like Vietnam as well, but I think maybe this doesn't scream out to everyone, but you never know. World War One, they could make a decent game of that.
Wow. They've never gone there, in all fairness.
Interesting.
And I'll probably, just to be out there as I usually am, I'd say I'd like to see it on the African content. continent even.
Content.
Yeah, with African content in there with downloads. But tonight I'm going to finish off. We've done exactly an hour tonight. I'd like to say thank you to Ben from North Cinematics. Please subscribe to his channel. I'm going to say good night to Stealth Slicer again. I'm going to say Stealth Slicer 77. If you're looking for him, please subscribe to his channel. And Green Keith Chief, please subscribe to his channel. And LD, please subscribe to his channel.
Thank you for having me on as well.
Not a problem. I really appreciate you boys for taking the time to come and talk to the panel tonight. It's been a pleasure to
Before
speak
we
to you.
go,
Yes.
commentator thing. What do you think is the setting for Battlefield? I think it's going to be modern.
Oh, it's got to be modern. Definitely modern.
Oh, without a
I'll go absolute, definite modern.
Yeah.
The question is, where's Bad Company 3 though, man? Where the hell?
Man, that was a game. It did. It did. We had some leaks on that, and they were working on it.
Yeah. There you go.
But gentlemen, we've done our hour. We've actually gone over tonight. Ben, just say good night.
Whoops.
Good night.
Stealth, good night.
Good night, lads. Stay safe. Love you guys.
Green, good night.
Good night to you, man. Thank you for having me on the stream. I hope that we can do something like this at some point in the future again, maybe.
Cool. And LD, going over to you. Good night.
Good night, yeah, and I hope we can do some stuff in the future again.
Cool. And don't forget, everyone, subscribe to all the panelists and the guests we've had on tonight. Been an excellent stream, and thank you. If you've been watching, the 14 people that are watching at the moment will sure get more in the future. Thank you, and good night.
God bless.